Hey guys, thanks for joining me again in this next video. This is a video that is going to be discussing my hysteroscopy experience. If you're curious to know a little bit more about what got me to this point, please check out my previous video where I'm giving an update as to what's been going on with me since my myomectomy. I've definitely been having some issues that's leading me to needing a hysteroscopy. So if you want to hear more, I'll link that in the description box below. But anyway, let's get started. So what is a hysteroscopy? A hysteroscopy is basically a way for your doctor to look at the lining of your uterus. And what they do is they use a thin viewing tool called a hysteroscope. And they basically kind of move that throughout your vagina, through the cervix into the uterus, and it has like a light and a camera attached so that they can kind of look at everything. My doctor had suggested that for me because he said that he really wanted to kind of get in there with a camera and see what he could see and what's going on, and then they can also do a biopsy and kind of put that under a microscope, and that may give them some information as well. Why is he suggesting this for me? Because I've been having issues with abnormal bleeding. So my cycles have been very long at times, and I'd get multiple cycles a month sometimes, and it was just kind of getting out of control. And now I am anemic, so that sucks. And it's because I'm losing too much. So we need to kind of get to the bottom of this. So he suggested a hysteroscopy. He also had suggested getting an IUD, which is Skylar, but I opted not to get that. I just told him, he kept asking me why, and I just told him that I didn't feel comfortable with having a device implanted inside of me. I just didn't. And I said, I really want to be done with this. I really want to be done with birth control. I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to deal with anything unnatural anymore. I want to get a solution to my problem. So he respected how I felt. I told him that I've been doing some research as well on abnormal menstrual cycles, and I'll do another video that'll kind of talk a little bit about, something that I hope might be a solution for me. I'm not going to get into that now, but I'll definitely do another video that'll kind of touch on that. So I shared that with him too. He just kind of nodded his head. He was like, okay. So he's, we just went ahead with the hysteroscopy. From what he shared with me, the hysteroscopy would be done in his office. He recommended me getting anesthesia for that, not through the tube in your throat, but the one that would be going through your arm, because my cervix is really small. Even a pap smear is very uncomfortable for me, and yeah, so he said it'll be better for you, better for me, if we just, have you out for this. So I agreed to that, and let's fast forward. So anyway, the hysteroscopy was just done this past Wednesday. You do have to have someone to take you up there and to be able to take you home, because you're going to be kind of out of it, of course. And the procedure takes all of like 15-20 minutes typically. He gave me a prescription for some medicine that kind of dilates your cervix. I was very nervous to take this medicine because he warned me that it was going to cause cramping. Why did he want to do that? Well, because he said he wanted to make it easier for him to kind of get in there and do what he needs to do. And so I had to take a pill basically before bed and first thing in the morning. I also could not eat 8 hours prior to the procedure. So after midnight, no water, no food, not even a cough drop, nothing. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know about that. So procedure day happens. They told me to wear something comfortable. I get up there. They basically do a urine sample to make sure you're not pregnant or anything. And then they took me on back there. So they took me into the office, told me to kind of undress, and I put on a gown. They had the anesthesiologist meet with me to kind of ask me a series of questions, just to kind of make sure that, number one, I didn't eat anything, and a bunch of other questions he had to ask as well about my past history, family history, and things like that. After that, they had me walk to a room nearby, and so, kind of got up on the table. They had me get in these stirrups, kind of like you're getting a pap smear. So they had you get in these stirrups, and they put the, you know, anesthesia, whatever, you know what I mean. They put that in me, and I don't remember that much after that. I was out. Came to, my mom was there. They had been trying to get me to wake up for a while, apparently. I'm very sensitive to that type of stuff, so yeah. But basically, the doctor was very excited. He kind of waved around the picture saying, oh my goodness, I think I figured out what your problem is. He showed me this picture of a fibroid that was in the cavity of my uterus. And he said that this is more than likely what is causing your abnormal menstrual cycles. He was like, he just seemed way more excited than even we were. I was out of it, so I couldn't get but so excited. But he just had this look like, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So he was just so excited to, I guess, kind of get to the bottom of it. And yeah, so he told me that he now recommends me getting what's called a hysteroscopic myomectomy. And I'm going to do another video that's going to kind of talk more about that and my journey with that, because yeah, I have some questions about it. It hasn't happened yet. And so I'm kind of in the research phase on that. Not that I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to share more in another video about my hysteroscopic myomectomy journey. But for the sake of this video, I of course am very excited that he kind of figured out what's going on. And you know, I'm gonna of course explain more about this fibroid and like why it's causing me an issue, but he also wants to avoid me needing a myomectomy right now. So this is kind of, you know, something to help me in the meantime. It doesn't help the other fibroids that are there, but they basically want me to kind of deal with those till I can't deal with them anymore. So this is the solution that he feels that I need in order for this abnormal, you know, bleeding to stop. So I'm thrilled about that. So let's talk about how things went after. So I was trying to come to, I couldn't walk out of there as they had intended. Why? Well, apparently when they put me out, even though I was knocked out, my body wasn't knocked out. And from what they said, I was really fighting back. I tried to kick the doctor a couple times, and the nurse told me that you just did not want to be touched. So they had to kind of give me more and more anesthesia to kind of stop me from moving so much. So I couldn't really walk out of there. I had to be willed out of there. Thankfully, my mom and dad were there, so my dad kind of had to help me get in the car. I was very loopy. I had a little bit of cramping, a little bit of pain, but it wasn't unbearable, but I definitely noticed it. So they gave me a prescription for Percocet that I was supposed to take when I get home, and I definitely felt pain along the drive. That was where most of the pain came from, the bumps in the road. My suggestion, if you need to go through this procedure, have a pillow or something in the car, because it was not the most comfortable ride. And I just remember being very hungry and tired and all of that. So anyway, my parents took me home. My mom stayed with me for most of the rest of the day. Definitely had to take off work that day, took off work the next day to be safe. The doctors say that you should be good after day 1, because it's an in and out procedure. So that wasn't the case for me. So anyway, got home, I was still in some pain, took some Percocet. Once it kicked in, definitely got some rest and things like that. And, just kind of had some cramping. The pain is not unbearable, but it's there. So took off the next day, and yeah, still felt some cramping and some pain. Figured I'd be fine by Friday. Went to work Friday, realized, yeah, I'm not doing that great. So kind of regretted that decision. Everyone's body's different. Most accounts that I've seen of people discussing hysteroscopies, they're saying that they were good, but the doctor, I called the doctor's office that Friday, shared that I'm still having some issues, and they told me they're not surprised. They said, you're very sensitive, and when I got notified that you're having concerns, they basically said that we weren't surprised because, just with your cervix and the way that apparently my cervix is really small, and I'm very sensitive. And so she said, yeah, I'm sure it's normal, nothing for you to worry about. She said if it gets worse, then go to the ER. If it doesn't get worse, then just kind of rest up over the weekend. When Monday comes, if you're still having pain, we need to see you right away. So Saturday, rested all day. Sunday, felt a lot better. Unfortunately, I'm now feeling more pain from the fibroids. I don't know. I don't understand why. The pain from the procedure is gone, but for some reason now I'm feeling fibroid pain. This pain is very familiar to me. I had fibroids removed before. So before I had them removed, I was dealing with a lot of pain. So this pain is very, very familiar. And now I'm feeling them. And it's very alarming to me because I wasn't feeling them to this extent. So I don't have I don't understand why. I have an appointment for a post-op appointment with the doctor where I plan to ask a lot of questions, and that will be one of them. But anyway, that's where I am now. It is now Sunday. I'm doing a lot better. My procedure, like I said, was Wednesday. So other than some pain from the fibroids, I'm doing pretty good. The doctor basically told me to finish out my last pack of birth control. I only had a couple days left. And then he said, I want you to get on progesterone until we do your procedure, the next procedure. So I was really out of it when he suggested that. And to be honest with you, I don't really know why I'm on it, but I'm on it. So yeah, I don't know what was the big deal of not just keeping me on the birth control versus progesterone. I'm not really sure. And I hate when they try to talk to you when you're like coming to, because you don't remember. And my mom didn't think to ask some of the questions that I would have asked. So I don't really have answers. And, you know, he's been kind of hard to nail down. And of course, you know, they're not going to spend a whole lot of time answering a whole lot of questions on the phone. So I feel like I kind of have to go in and like meet with him. So I have a lot of questions to ask, but yeah, so for right now, I'm on progesterone. They're trying to schedule me for my next procedure in December, the hysteroscopic myomectomy. I am not 100% sure I'm going to have him do it. I'm not sure yet. Why? I've read some information about this procedure that leads me to believe that it's going to be a very complicated procedure. And I just want to make 100% sure at how often he has done this exact procedure. So I need to know more. So that's my next steps in this journey. I need to learn more about this doctor, how many times he's done this, the success rate of doing this. My fibroid that he found in the cavity of my uterus is 50% in there, which if you read up on that, it's considered one of the most complicated. If it's 50% or more in, it's considered one of the most complicated ones to remove. So yeah, so I'm a little uncomfortable with that. So I just want to make sure, you know, that this is the right way to go. I don't doubt that I need to do this procedure, but I just want to make sure that he's the right doctor for me to do it. And he's great. I love him, but I just want to make sure that he knows what he's doing with this procedure. So yeah, that's going to be my next steps, but I'll do more in another video as I go on this hysteroscopic myomectomy journey. And I'll update you with the results of everything. But anyway, I just want to thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I hope this video has been helpful. You know, please like and comment below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Bye.